Welcome everyone to another edition of Play It Through, and on this edition it's the Addams Family, brought to us by Ocean. Based off of the film of the same name and of course the Addams Family franchise, this version of the Addams Family is a little bit different than the other ones I've played in the past. So here we go with the Addams Family for the Nintendo Game Boy. We're going to wait a little second at the title screen to get the opening storyline before we jump into the game. So in the game, we're playing as Gomez, who's trying to save the other family members of the Addams family, and to do that you have to defeat several bosses. For this run of the game, I will be completing each of the bosses, but I will be using a few shortcuts in the game to speed things along, and they're just kind of fun to use. As we begin the game, we're going to head all the way over to the left of the house and then into the graveyard area. From there, you just gotta go all the way to the left, dealing with various enemies. You'll notice that you do have a meter in the lower right corner. That's your weapon meter. You don't want to just keep throwing your weapons out there willy-nilly. You gotta make sure that you want to aim them up a little bit and save them, of course, for boss encounters, though there usually is a big potion right outside of the boss encounter rooms so that you can replenish that before those encounters. For this first boss against the Grim Reaper, we're going to get over to the right side and going to avoid his projectiles. A lot of the bosses in the game can one-hit kill you, so that's a lot of fun. So you want to make sure that you dodge the weapons that they shoot out as much as you can. Keep focusing on the face of the Grim Reaper, and it won't take too long in order to defeat him. Save Wednesday, and then we're going to go back into the graveyard and head back to the house. Unfortunately, there's no quick shortcut back to the house. We do have to walk the length back, but it doesn't take us too long in order to do that. The hit detection in this game is not the greatest. A lot of enemies just slightly above you will still end up counting as if they ran into you, so you can't really run underneath all the enemies in the game. You have to be careful sometimes that they don't get too close to the ground. Once back at the house area, just head back to the right to the front door and enter inside. From here, we're going to head over to the right and head down to the basement of the Addams Family mansion. We're going to drop off the right side here. You can get health if you need it, and then you can go inside of here to the next area. There are a few power-ups you can get as well for Gomez that you can find in the game. They help you out a little bit. One of the examples is right here where we can grab this potion that turns us into like a werewolf form that gives us extra speed. Gotta be careful with the extra speed, but it definitely does end up helping out. Head inside here into the next boss chamber. You automatically will transform back here. For this boss, avoid being underneath of it if all possible. You'll just end up getting hit by the tail a lot of times. And every time that it does shoot down the tail, try to get close to it so that you can end up delivering a few hits. Just be cautious of this fight. This is actually one of the harder ones to deal with just because of how much space he ends up taking up. Once the boss is done though, we end up saving Grandma and move on to the next area. Every one of the Addams family members you save though, you do get another weapon that you can end up using, some of which are more useful than others. The fireball we will be using a little bit throughout the course of the game. There's also the blocks that you can use to get up higher to places when you have those. From the basement, we're going to head up and up a little bit. Once on this floor, head over to the left. You'll go through an open door. Grab the potions if you like down here, and we get another transformation here. To take a little shortcut to the next area, we're going to jump up here and avoid having to go through this place. You don't have to swim and deal with all these fish enemies or anything. You can just jump up here and then easily run across to the end and go into the next boss room. Before going to the boss, I'm going to drop right down into the water near the boss, and there is a big health replenishment so that we have full health going into this fight. For this battle, you have this giant octopus. We're going to get down to the water when it gets onto the screen. Once we can start throwing our weapon, just keep doing so, mashing the button quickly, and you'll take down the boss in just a few seconds. For doing so, we end up saving Lurch, who gives us some ice cubes. From there, we're going to head up the stairs some more, up to the top floor here, and head over to the right side. This is going to take you over to a big toy box. We're going to enter inside of there to the next area. From there, we're going to drop down and go to the left and into the wall here. And it takes you to a little secret area where you can get some bonus items. And then it will take you to a little bit farther into the toy chest area. These platforms can be extremely annoying. They disappear as soon as you step on them, so you gotta be very careful when you get over them. You can tell with the different smiley face of which ones end up disappearing and which ones don't. Here we reach the end and the next boss encounter. I'm going to switch over to the fireballs and then stand on here and wait till the boss gets all the way on screen. We're going to jump behind it and just mash the attack button with the fireballs in order to get rid of the boss in just a few seconds. With the boss taken care of, we've saved Pugsley and it's time to go save Uncle Fester. It doesn't take us too long to get to where we're going next. Head over to the left, don't go down the staircase, and instead head over to here and enter inside of this room. From there, head over to the right side and start climbing up. Try to do your best to avoid these bats or take them out. I recommend taking them out instead of trying to outrun them. I've always tried to outrun them and I end up just getting hit multiple times before I end up getting too far. You can get some health up here, so that's the reason why I don't mind it as much. But still, you're probably going to want to take those bats out sooner than later. Use the block ability in order to get up here. You could, of course, take the platforms, but just a little short jump right there. And then get ready for the Uncle Fester fight. In order to destroy Uncle Fester's giant monster form, you need to move him towards the lightning on the far right side. Use the fireballs in order to do this, just hitting him, firing them while you're on the ground, and jumping over his projectiles. It doesn't take too many electrical shocks in order for Uncle Fester to go back to normal, or as normal as Uncle Fester can be, I guess. And we'll move on to the basement to take out the final boss and save Morticia. From where we are, all we gotta do is head down a few of the staircases back down to the first floor of the Addams Family mansion, and then we're gonna head to the right, ignoring the first staircase that we took to the basement, and instead going to the second staircase that takes you down there. Go past the staircase and just keep going on. And head down here. Now we're going to take a little shortcut for fun. In between these barrels, you can go and make yourself go a little farther in to this area, the torture chamber area, basically. As we work our way through, we have to watch out for buzzsaws, spinning mace balls, and the like. Just kind of take your time through this as we're making our way through. Duck underneath the giant mace ball or whatever it is right here if you need to. For these, you can wait for them to come down, and actually you can walk through them once they have crashed down. And the same goes for the guillotine. The blade doesn't just hurt you when it's just sitting there. Sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to get around the buzzsaws, but a little perseverance can do it. Here I'm waiting for the buzzsaw to appear, and then I'm going to jump to the blocks just because, like I said, it's difficult sometimes to avoid them. Duck underneath the mace ball here, and then head over to the right to enter inside of the door, and it's time for the final boss encounter. For this boss, we're going to get close and then jump up in the air over the blade, and what you want to do is kind of like trick him by attacking him and jumping over the blade at the same time. So this way he'll kind of keep jumping a lot of times, and you can just keep on attacking him without him moving towards you or anything. Once he's done, you can enjoy the ending to Addams Family on the Game Boy. So there you have it, Addams Family for the Nintendo Game Boy. Not my favorite version of the game, but one I have a few good memories with from when I was younger. My favorite version is probably the SNES version. It's the one I've played the absolute most, and I do enjoy the games. It's probably because I'm a big Addams Family fan, so even with some of the flaws that these platformers have, I definitely enjoy playing through them, and I still have other versions of it to play through in the future. With that, though, it will wrap up this episode of Play It Through. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.